There we go. All right, Michael, what's up, dude? Thank you for being able to make time for us today. I know you're feeling under the weather, so I really appreciate you squeezing
No,
us
not a
in
problem.
with this. I actually just wrapped up one of the newbie Zooms that I did a little bit over an hour ago, and I had a lot of people asking me just some of those basic questions of where do I get the information? Where do I pull it from? How do I skip it? And I wanted to, I texted you this, but I'm going to highlight this for everybody really quickly so you guys can all find this. If you guys are in here for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to just say every Thursday we do this at 12 o'clock Arizona time. So you guys can jump in. We'll do some Q&A. Even when Michael's feeling under the weather, he finds time to help us. I want to just say this for everyone new on here. Michael has been doing this since 2016 or 2015?
2015.
2015. And safe to say you're a millionaire now?
Yes.
He's a millionaire now. And you were, I'm just saying, I'm at my sister's house, so she's never heard you before. Before this, what was your occupation?
Before this, I was a teacher. I taught 9th to 11th grade kids algebra and geometry. Made
Algebra and geometry.
40 grand a year if I was lucky.
40 grand a year if he was lucky, and now you're a millionaire because you've been consistent and you found ways to add value to people's lives by solving problems. So I say all of that for all the new people. It's your first time being on here. If you're in the same situation where you're hopefully clearing 40 grand a year, if you stay consistent and you're diligent with this, where is the flashing coming from? I feel like there's like a flashing behind me. Okay, cool. Maybe it's just my computer monitor. With that being said, for everybody, ask questions on here. We are only going to do a 30-minute session today because I have a doctor's appointment and I want to save Michael's voice for himself. But if you are not, make sure you go over to Michael's YouTube. I'm going to share this screen really quickly. I actually watched this video 3 times yesterday, Michael. I'm so glad that you put it out. Where is it? Let's go to your channel. And this cold calling one, I've watched this one 3 times. So I'm sharing this for all of you because it's a really great video. You should watch. You can see that I even liked it down here. Like it, give them a comment, tell them what your takeaway was. The biggest one, and I really appreciated, somebody actually even said it in the side chat here, right here. This is the one, right? Michael Barcena, another guy from Sub 2, said this. Really pay attention to the tone he talks to. And I just wrapped up a newbie Zoom, and I'm always trying to push so much information out. Sometimes I'm pretty quick, and I get out things, and it's hard for people to pay attention. But I shared a recording when I was speaking to a homeowner one time, and if there's one thing that I can ask you guys to take away, watch this YouTube of Michael calling. He even has his team like go through and add little nuggets in here. Where'd it go? Right there. Right there. They even add little things underneath for you to understand. But when I'm speaking to a homeowner who's going through a really tough situation, I am not going out and saying, hi guys, I know that you're broke and you have no options in life and you're ready to give up. I'm here to help. Really, the way that you come across and you're talking to somebody is going to make a difference. And I love how calm, cool, and collected you were through all of these cold calls. And I really appreciate that you are recording this and taking time out of your business and your day and your family's time to go out and help everybody. So if any of you guys are not on Michael's YouTube, you can see his name right there is Michael Frankie. Make sure when you get onto it, I think it's actually Michael D. Frankie, the way it has it on here. When you get on, it'll automatically go to personalized. Make sure you click all. So anytime Michael goes live on YouTube, anytime he uploads a new video, it'll ping you because they're really, really good. So anyways, I wanted to say that while everybody's new and in here, every Thursday, 12 o'clock Arizona time, put an alarm on your phone. You know we'll be here. We'll answer your questions. We'll even pull you guys up. I love that. Jerry Gooseman just said, I listened to it this morning. So you guys will get a lot of value from listening to this. And he has some role plays in here that we've done on this little clip before where you guys can see there's a lot of really good stuff on here. So check that out. But I want to be mindful of everybody's time, and I want to be mindful of yours, Michael, while you're feeling under the weather. And I see a lot of people are coming in here from the newbie Zoom. Hi, everybody. What we're going to do today, because I had a lot of people asking, is just kind of how to get started and what works for them. So Michael, I don't know, I know we've done it on a live before, but do you have a video on your YouTube channel right now, how to pull data and how to use True People Search yet?
No, I don't. The only reason I haven't is I want to keep people's information private. We could perhaps use a list that is old where these people aren't in foreclosure anymore. But I don't want to put something to where someone's on the foreclosure list right now and we're just blasting all their information all over the internet. But the cool thing about that video was I was actually using True People Search that whole time. We did edit out some of the dead spots where I was actually searching for things, and I kind of wanted to share my screen so that you guys could see. But that interface on that website is so easy. You're basically just typing in a person's name, their city, or a reverse address lookup. And I just had my list on Excel, wasn't even using a CRM, and was just going down the list, typing people's information in on there and getting free numbers. And that just shows that anyone can do this. It was free. I literally could take a list that I get from auction.com, any other site, put it on True People Search, start calling, use my cell phone, didn't have a double, triple, however many dialers we're up to now. It was just a cell phone and just manually putting it in. And guys, you can start within a handful of minutes. So
that is something I also want to touch on. So I'm going to throw out some questions and answer them before we go through this. And you know what we can probably do? Maybe next week, if you're feeling better, we'll send some tea your way. I'll send you some lemons that have just been grown in my backyard here so you can squeeze it and feel better. But what if we did something offline? We can, show you guys a little bit here on YouTube. And Michael and I both have Facebook groups. We could go live in our private Facebook groups that are not open to everybody, a little more detail, so you guys can see how we've pulled this. Michael, I think you and I, if you guys are in Sub2, if you can go to the Sub2 Zoom Vault, we've shared on private Zooms how we get this data. But the resources that you need to get started to be successful are, one, a pen and paper. That's where you guys need to get started. Pen and paper is the first thing that you need. One, write down your intentions. What are you expecting to get out of this YouTube? What are you expecting to get out of whatever you're going after? We're going to talk about niche lists. We're going to talk about pre-foreclosures to get started. Michael, Q2, you're still going to be starting your community where you're going to go into how you do everything?
Yep, Q2, we'll go through all this stuff ad nauseum. So I know on some of these Zooms, some of you would probably like to get a little bit more granular and into the weeds, and we'll definitely do all of those things for sure.
Perfect. So everybody on here, first thing, pen and paper. Honestly, when you write stuff down, you just retain it a lot more. If you take notes, like you're going to go and regurgitate it and teach somebody, you will learn a lot faster. So do that. Second, you don't need a CRM to get started. Michael made what, $50,000 on your first deal?
$50,000 on my first deal just from looking on Zillow. And I literally walked to the house because it was a half mile away, and knocked and made 50 grand just from taking action. Free information.
So I'm going to go through a few things. You don't need a CRM. Just use a pen and paper, stay organized. And the big recipe here is follow up, follow up, follow up. Use that. That's going to help you. Now, there's somebody just pointed out over here. I'm going to deviate because there's some questions here in the side chat. Where did I go? What if it's an LLC? I stay away from LLCs. Okay. I just don't mess with those. I'm going to homeowners that are individually owned. Don't go after an LLC, especially when you're first getting started. Don't waste your time. This is going to be, I'm going to go high level for a moment. Most of the time when an LLC is in pre-foreclosure, it's because they have a hard money loan and they are defaulting on their payments. I would just stay away from that. Would you say anything different about LLCs, Michael?
Sometimes you can be a little bit subjective with LLCs. You can usually tell a professional LLC from like a mom and pop. Like if it's Dick and Jane's Home Rental LLC, maybe you go after it. But if it's, some hedge fund looking thing, don't mess with it. We don't usually go after those. The vast majority, just like Caroline said, they have some sort of odd circumstance going on with lending. And that's why they're in foreclosure. They don't really need you.
Yeah, steer clear. Work with the mom and pops that need help. Michael, I don't know if you've seen this movie. Greg Clark and Tanisha Epps brought it up to me. It's on Netflix. It's called 99 Homes.
I actually I don't know where I saw you guys post about that. I screenshotted it on my phone to go back and watch it, but I don't know about it at all.
Watch it. It's on Netflix. I think it came out in like 2016, 2015. And I had my sister watch it. Claire, what did you think about that movie?
Well, I haven't finished it.
She hasn't finished it, but what did you think at the beginning? Did it infuriate you or did it inspire you?
Both.
both. She was so mad. She's like, I hate this guy. Gosh, he's terrible. So it shows you what happens to families when they go through foreclosure, and it shows you the ugly side of it. And it's eye-opening, and it just how the banks are winning and how they try and screw people over and take advantage of things. So you guys should watch that and learn a little bit from it. With that being said, it's really fascinating. It's a quick movie. You can watch it. I want to answer another question over here by Santrell. Santrell has been on almost every Zoom with me today. Santrell and I are like this now. We're having difficulty getting information from the county. What are other resources? So depending on where you are, typically red states are easier. I know I did this myself. I called the county for somebody in San Diego because they're like, where can I get this information? Because Michael and I do everything from our computer. In San Diego, you have to drive down to the courthouse, use the courthouse computers to pull that data, which is a pain. But Michael had a great resource, and you guys can, I don't know if you heard him the first time, Zillow will tell you what's in pre-foreclosure, and then also auction.com. Auction.com, you can see lots of stuff in your area. So that's constantly getting updated. We've done a few different lives on here before where the attorney websites that we've used, just go back through our lives. We'll cut those up for you guys eventually, and we can go into more detail where you guys can pull that. So all of that information is online. But auction.com is great. Zillow is great. And you can go and back source from there. Would you have any other answers there, Michael?
A good place to always start, Caroline had mentioned auction.com. You want to can you bring up your browser real quick, and we can just do an example?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. All right, auction.com.
And obviously, guys, there's lots of sources. This is just a launching pad, a place to get started. So she's bringing up Maricopa. Just pick one of those properties that's interesting to you there.
All right, I'm going to stay away from the stuff that's super far. I like Surprise. We'll go with Surprise. Okay.
So you pick out any property that's interesting to you. Go ahead and scroll down there a little bit. There should be a little box that says attorney contact or something like that. Keep scrolling. Foreclosure contact information. So I put out a bunch of videos about, well, you could be resourceful. Type in ZBS Law LLP into Google, see if they have a website, see if there are listings on there. Sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't. If they don't, that doesn't mean you give up. That means, well, there's a phone number underneath it. Give them a call. See what they have to say. They have to post that information somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So
legally.
Yeah, legally they have to. And maybe they say, well, we post in such and such newspaper. Okay. Well, maybe you need to get a subscription to that newspaper, or maybe the newspaper has a digital version that you can get on and check it out. Guys, you just have to be a little bit resourceful. So that's just one contact. In Maricopa, there's many of them. So you would just go back to another listing that you like, do the same process, and keep researching. Let's just choose that one there.
No, same person.
And there's another one.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you go through there's going to be a number of different ones. Let's try to find a different one just for grins.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, auction.com is a great website. You can get more niche. Make sure, and just for, there you go. This is another one, Tiffany and Bosco. Those are great. This is just fun facts for all of you. I'm buying stuff in Phoenix. I didn't pick on the Buckeye ones because I don't like that, but I have a buy box. If you guys go to my Instagram, you can see where I'm looking for stuff. Michael Frankie is looking for things in Kansas City. So if you guys get properties in those areas, you can message us on Instagram. This is my Instagram handle. That's Michael's Instagram handle. You guys can reach out to us and we will tell you, like, this is this is great, pass. We want this. We'll help you find a buyer. We're not interested. So the whole point is, first, reverse engineer. What do you guys want? Have your intention written down. Find out what a buyer is looking for. Go and look for opportunities that can work that way, solve those problems, and get paid. So Zillow, auction.com, and then through time, you just have to be really, Michael used the word resourceful. Just be freaking diligent and persistent, and you guys can get ahead with that.
Guys, Google is smart. Like, there was a guy, I think he was in Montgomery, Alabama. Like, I get messages from people all the time about where to find their area's data, which I am coming up with a solution for people. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be pretty cool. But he's like, this data doesn't exist. I promise you. I've looked for hours. So I tried the auction.com route. Or no, No, it wasn't Montgomery, Alabama. It was somewhere in Ohio. It doesn't really matter. I had looked for the data the way I just showed you, and he's like, there's no attorney websites. It doesn't work. And he was right. They didn't have attorney websites. So I took whatever county it was. I just typed into Google, whatever county, Ohio, foreclosure data. And this particular county actually made it easy. It's actually just like Florida, to where they have a county website with a foreclosure calendar on their website, and you can click on every single day, and it even tells you the address, the homeowner name. It tells you how much equity there is, and it tells you if the auction is live or canceled. I mean, it makes it about as easy as possible. So within about 2 minutes of searching, I sent him the link, and he's like, how is that possible? It's just like, guys, you just have to search a little bit. So.
Do a little bit of work, but legally in the United States, they have to typically at least 4 times before an auction post it in the newspaper. So there's so many resources where you guys can get that, and it'll help you out. And then Emmanuel over here just said, can you use that in any state? Yes. Auction.com. Yeah. Yep. You can use that in any state. Okay. There's a few other questions I'm going to go over here. So to reiterate, pen and paper, you don't need a CRM. Just write these things down, continuously follow up with them. Be empathetic. If you guys don't know all the answers to stop an auction, we have gone through so many. You should watch that role play that Michael and I did together, because we go through the 5 options to stop a foreclosure. The amount of messages I'm getting on Instagram, people like, I stopped an auction. I helped somebody keep their home. It's awesome. We want to help you guys do that. We want to help you get your first deal. Just keep showing up on Thursdays, ask these questions, and just do the work during money-making hours. All right. So there's 2 questions in here. I'm going to get this one to you, Michael, because I know we need to get out of here soon. Hey, guys. Michael, have you bought a sub 2 out of foreclosure with a maxed out HELOC and second position that's also behind on interest payments?
I've bought houses in every single situation there is. There have been ones that have really big seconds in terms of a maxed out HELOC. I don't know about that, but there have been ones that had huge seconds or big tax liens, anything out there under the sun I've dealt with. And sometimes you have to pay off those things before you can close it. Sometimes you don't. And a good person to consult on that exact situation is your title company. They should give you, an idea of exactly what needs to be done to take something down sub 2. But on that, you would just need to more than likely catch up both the first and the second, and you should be okay. Connor's a Kansas City guy. You should just give me a call, Connor, instead of being on the Zoom. But
he's utilizing your time. He knows you're available. That's the way to do it right here, guys. Message when we're on a Zoom. Okay. Alexander Ramos said, I've set daily KPIs, but could I get some guidance on how I can improve the daily grind? So we've talked about KPIs a lot on here. This is one of my favorite things about you, Michael, is that you have systems and KPIs, and that's why I want to rip off and duplicate from you. When you're getting started and you have a W-2, what would you do?
If you're just trying to get out of your W-2 and let's just say make the same amount in real estate investing that you do in your W-2. Okay. As a teacher, I made 40 grand a year. Let's say a normal transaction as a real estate investor, you make 20 grand, let's say. So to get out of that job, you only need to get 2 deals a year if you want to quit in 1 year. So you just got to work backwards on, how much activity you think you're going to have to do to get that deal. It also you have to think about how bad you actually want this. So if you're busy during your W-2 from 9 to 5, well, you're probably going to have to put some work in the dark hours. And that's where a lot of the margin is made up. So, says I've set daily KPIs, but I could get some guidance on how I can improve the daily grind. Are you saying that you're burnt out on doing these things? Or are you saying you don't know how to arrange your schedule?
Good question. And look, this is something I don't know if a lot of people just noticed. Michael's getting very specific. With everything that we do, especially when we're asking questions, you need to be specific to understand these things. What's in the best interest of the homeowner? Sometimes it's not in the best interest for a homeowner to sell their house subject to. Maybe they have a lot of equity and they just want to cash out and be done. You've got to figure out what the best fit is for everybody. So I like how specific you're getting. I hope you're still on here, Alexander, so we can see the rest of your response to this question.
The way Alexander phrased that makes me think he's not hitting the KPIs, but I'd like to hear from him.
Oh, maybe we could do this. Susan just said, can you give us an example of both your daily schedules and time blocking? I think we should probably do one for like your acquisition team. I think that'd be the best use of time for especially people that are getting started. Let's go through a few more of these. We have 9 more minutes that we can be on here because I, again, have a doctor's appointment. I'm trying to shovel my lunch in. And Connor had the rest of his question here. He did say, sorry, the rest of his question was, does the HELOC have its own reinstatement?
Yeah, if a second, you're going to have a number that they're behind on that as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Cam K said, I want to do deals. How and where to get pre-foreclosures and low equity lists? So I would say stay away from the low equity list for everybody on here. There's just like, here's my question for you. Who here would like to pay another mortgage statement and not get any money on the return? You're just $3,000 every month. As soon as the first of the month rolls around, $3,000, no cash flow to you. If you're brand new in investing, you should not be buying properties. I'm going to say this with my full chest. You should not be buying properties when you're brand new to real estate investing, especially if you don't have a freak ton of money. You need to be in the active income stage of where you're just getting a bunch of cash setting aside so you have breathing room. And then when you're in a position where you're like, oh my gosh, I have too much money, I'm going to get taxed a ton. That's when you should be buying to keep. So I'd stay away from those low equity lists. But for pre-foreclosures, I think you asked this before we brought up auction.com. So Auction and Zillow are going to be your best resources here. All right. So there's another question by Cam a few minutes later. Also, where to find wholesale deals? Do I contact flipping companies and try to get a deal under their buy box? Look for cash buyers that are actively fixing and flipping that have HUDs of their most recent deal, and then talk to them. We've talked about this a few times on here, Michael, but what do you do to reverse engineer? How did you find buyers?
Cam, are you saying you want to find deals from other wholesalers? Because that's one of my favorite strategies to find deals. I'm the niche guy, but those deals are free to you. Basically, someone sending out emails or text or posting on Facebook groups that they have a deal for sale, and you just have to check out the property, see if the numbers work for you, put in an offer, and it's really a yay or nay thing to see if you get a deal. Now, are most of those deals garbage? Yes. You may have to go through 10, 15 offers to get one accepted. But again, if you can take the time to put in 10 or 15 offers, get one accepted, and that makes you $20,000, and you're that person in the W-2, well, if you put in, let's say, one offer a day, let's just say that shouldn't take much time, and it takes you 1 month to get a deal, that makes you $20,000. Well, that gets you 12 deals by the end of the year, $240,000. I think you can replace your $40,000 or $50,000 W-2 at that point.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to get started. I love teaching pre-foreclosures because it's a great way to find motivated sellers. But if you're a type of person that doesn't have any time, and you can just go through on Facebook groups and see people posting deals and say, here's my email, add me to your list. And you can just have a deals email that you get a handful of deals every day from wholesalers, and you can make offers. Guys, that you can make a really good income just doing that. So
that free marketing. I love this person just said this. I'm listening, said like, share, and subscribe. Guys, again, we do this for free every Thursday. If you're not already in Michael's YouTube, jump on there, message us on Instagram. But yeah, share this with some other people you think might find some value out of this. The whole purpose of this is we're keeping it for free, and we want to make sure that everybody's getting value. All right. A few other questions down here. April's been messaging me for a little bit. April said, hello, I'm working with a seller that has a sale date of 2/13. Will I be able to stop the sale with the purchase agreement? Do I also have to provide a proof of funds? Thank you.
It depends on every lender. Obviously, you're going to need a purchase agreement for them to start that process, but they may ask for a variety of things. One of the first things they may ask for is a proof of funds. They may ask for a preliminary HUD from your title company. They may ask for a short little letter kind of declaring what your intentions are with the property. It really just depends on the lender. Maybe a different call, we could discuss every single thing you could possibly need. That way, when the time comes, you have that available. But those are just a handful of things, usually with a contract and a proof of funds that will get the ball rolling.
Let's go into detail on that next week for you guys some more. All right. So Cam responded. They said, thank you. And they said, I need to find deals to assign them. So I think we're all on the same boat. Finding deals is the hardest part of this. That's why buyers want hunters. Okay. So go be the hunter and gatherer and bring it to the chef so they can stir it up. Go find those deals. Everybody's looking for a deal. John Naka, I'm going to try it. Nakarato said, is an offer the same as an LOI, Michael?
I mean, everyone uses different terminology. When I say offer, it's just generally me giving a verbal offer or writing up a purchase agreement. Letter of intent is more of a multi-family or larger acquisition thing in my experience. I could be wrong there. I don't operate in that space as much. So maybe.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, same. I'm agreeing. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I would say, yeah, an LOI, this is my offer. Just tell them it's an offer. So the more offers you get out, 3 weeks ago, we went over this, get more offers out. It'll help you out. So Alexander finally replied. Got a long response. There's 2 messages here. Alexander said, I'm making 50 to 75 cold calls a day. Some days I have great conversations with a homeowner and some days I have no conversations. Should I be calling more people working towards my first deal? Absolutely. You should be shooting for 30 to 35 conversations a day, not just cold calls, conversations a day. So your cold call might go up to 200 calls because you're getting it on a dialer and you're going through, but you're having 30 to 35 conversations and you might have warm leads that you've already spoken to that you're calling back again to see where they are in the process. So yeah, shoot for 30 to 35 conversations that are quality conversations a day. That'll help you out a ton. And then, let me pull it up. He said, I want to improve my conversation and ask more questions. I'm starting to record my calls. Record everything, guys. And then you can come back and listen to them and say, oh, this is where I messed up. This is where I can get better. So record. It's just what you measure grows. When you're paying attention to things, you get better. Michael?
Alexander, are you going after pre-foreclosures? Is that who you're calling? Or is this just generic cold calling?
Ooh, that's a good question to ask. Man, there's been so many comments on your mustache. Greg Clark made a comment about your mustache. Who else made a comment about your mustache? Earlier I saw Preston.
My default comment on that is I grow that really well. I wish I grew it on the top of my head just as well.
It's migrated. Okay, so Eduardo wants to know what Michael Frankie's buy box is.
Send me anything in Kansas City, or if you have something in the Tampa area on the water or somewhere in the Phoenix area, I'll look at it in terms of a sub-2 vacation type place. In Tampa,
Michael, is there? So I think Eduardo asked what yours was because on my Instagram, I have my buy box and my link. Do you have anything on your Instagram that says what your buy box is?
No, I don't. I get those calls every single day. What's your buy box in Kansas City? I'm like, just send me everything. I don't need the buy box.
Anything and everything in Kansas City. Hey, that's easy though. Okay. Yep. Alexander said, yes, sir. Calling foreclosures.
So if you go back and watch the cold calling video that I released last week, it's literally me using True People Search, calling people's numbers. I cold called for about 80 minutes, 90 minutes or so. And I made contact with, I can't remember the exact number, but 5 or 6.
Got 3 in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, 5 or 6 at least contacts or decent conversations in that amount of time. So you don't necessarily have to make a lot of calls to have good conversations. It's about having the right contact information. So if your contact information's wrong and you're just spinning through your dialer over and over and over, and you're making a lot of calls, that's kind of a waste of time. So you want to make sure that it's the correct phone number. So if you have the ability to say, oh, this one was disconnected, need to get that out of the system. This one was the wrong person, get that out of the system. Keep bringing in new phone numbers. And then at the end of the day, if you have a list of I've contacted or I know these phone numbers are right, then you can go down the list and you can have a lot of really good conversations in a row. And that's when it gets fun, when you get to have those conversations with people that are motivated and they're welcome to a conversation, or they're open to it.
All right. Reb Proctor said, are you doing sub 2 deals with pre-foreclosure? If so, how do you avoid tripping the acceleration clause on sub 2 if you're having to deal with the lender? So I'm going to jump in here. That's like saying, how do I make this? That's just like saying there's a boogeyman under the bed all the time to your children.
Rare.
If you don't go to sleep, the boogeyman's going to get you, and you're just creating this little fear-mongering thing. Most of the time.
Go ahead. You go ahead. No.
I was going to say,
I've bought over 50 sub 2 houses out of pre-foreclosure. Only one of them got the due on sale clause called. And it was because the seller got disgruntled afterward for no fault of my own. And he called up the lender, and it was like a small little local credit union, and told him everything that happened. And then they accelerated due on sale. And it wasn't like it was difficult to handle. All we did was pay off the loan with a private lender because we were going to sell it anyway. But it's not like if that gets called the next day, you're losing the house. You got time to operate, and it is rare. So in my instance, out of 50, it happened on 1, so 2% of the time it would happen. And it might even be less industry wide. I'm not sure on that number, but it's pretty rare.
And here's the other thing, guys, like banks, how many of you guys in here have your mortgage? How often does the bank call you to make sure that you're making payments on your mortgage? Or do they ever call you and say, hey, Michael, I'm so proud of you. Thanks for making your payment. They don't care. They're like, all right, he paid on time, on to the next one. They have other things going on. So there you go. Thank you. Not fear, just strategy, trying to figure that part out. There's a lot of people that'll be like, don't do this. There's risk in whatever you do. But just make sure that make sure your credit's in good standing. Go get another loan, replace it. There's just lots of opportunity. With that being said, guys, we're going to get out of here because I have a doctor's appointment and Michael's not feeling well. I'm going to answer one last question here. Cora said, what's the best time to door knock by yourself? When the sun is out. I would say that, especially as a woman. But I don't go when it's dark. I don't want to get scared. I've door knocked on people's houses, and I'm just going to say this. I'm a woman. I'm a white woman. Okay. I'm going to use my white woman privilege. I do not look threatening, and I've door knocked in sketchy areas sometimes. If I do not feel safe, like I do not go in a home. I don't go up to houses, especially when it's scary. I have my location shared like with people that matter, and I record myself, like just making sure I'm good. But I have had somebody tell me when I door knocked on their house, they're like, you know what, you're very respectful. I appreciate you being kind. I had somebody come and knock on my door at 10 p.m. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I do not knock on doors at 10 p.m. I don't know if that guy's locking up any houses, but if you're a big man door knocking at 10 p.m., you're probably scaring more people than helping them. So just think about it that way. And if it's something scary, go with another person. And then there's another question right here. Dante just said, where can we find your live video? So I'm going to share this one more time. Let me share the screen. Michael's YouTube. So I will post his YouTube on my Instagram afterwards so you guys can all find it. He's right here. So what you're going to do when you get over here, you are going to click on the subscribe button. Once you click on that, you're going to click the drop down. You're going to click all. Anytime Michael uploads a video, you're going to get it. This is the one you guys need to be watching right here. Cold Calling Live. You will see him do it. It's a really, really good video. And Michael pays the big bucks to have somebody go through and edit his stuff, so it's nice and neat. So his YouTube is called Michael D. Frank E. Frank E. So that's where you should get going. Michael, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, guys, if you want to watch those videos, and if there's anything that you want to see in future videos, feel free to leave a comment or shoot me a message on Instagram. I'm pretty accessible on there. Guys, we just want to serve. We want to give free value on here and want to see you guys get your first deal. And we'd love to hear your success stories. That's what keeps us doing this and gets us excited to keep going on.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. We'll see you later. Thank you guys for showing up every Thursday, 12 o'clock Arizona time. We're on here. Bye, everyone.